Hey guys, welcome back to day 3 of Algorithmas. So today we're going to be doing a really common one. It's going to be a little bit more advanced than the previous two that we've done, which is to find the most common occurring character in a string. So if you haven't seen the previous ones, do check those out. Those are a little bit more easy and easy to follow, but today we're just going to turn it up a little notch. So what we have is a string with some repeating characters, and you notice that if you were to count each of these characters, you'll see that A occurs twice, B occurs twice, so on, and then G occurs 6 times. So G would be the most commonly occurring character in the string, and there are variations of this algorithm that get asked a lot. Usually this will form part of a slightly bigger algorithm, but this is not too tricky to do once you've done it a couple of times, and variations of it. So what we're going to have to do is obviously we're going to have to create a string with this sample in it. So I'm just going to copy and paste this string. I'm going to use this as an example. So I'm going to do var equals sample, var sample string equals, and that's going to be our sample string. So a good way to approach this is whenever you want to iterate through something, so go through each character or each element, always split it into an array. And if it's in a language like C# where you can't really do too much with an array, then convert that array to a list. So that's the first step. I always recommend this. So I'm going to do var sample list, and the first thing I want to do is convert my string into an array. So we want to convert it to a character array, and then convert that character array to a list. Now this is what I'm doing here. This is known as function chaining or method chaining. So I'm first converting it to a character, and then I'm going to convert it to a list, just like so. So I have my string gets converted to an array of characters, and then that array of characters gets converted to a list, just because I can manage lists more easily. So now with a list, what I can do is iterate through each character just to confirm they're all there. So I'm just going to do a standard for each loop, and I'm just going to say character in my sample list, and I'm just going to log that to the console. So let's just give that a go. And there you go, guys. So you can see that we're logging all of our individual characters to the screen. So now that gives us a lot more to work with. So what we're going to have to do next is figure out a way how we can count each of these characters and store that count somewhere. So let's see. We're first going to obviously have, I would say, some kind of variable to keep track of our max count. So back up here, I'm just going to create a max count variable equals 0. And we might want to return which character is that's also has the highest count. So I'm just going to do max character as well, and I'm just going to send it to an empty character because we're going to be storing a character in this max character variable. Now we know how to iterate through this string. All we need to do now is figure out a way to group each character and then count how many characters there are in that group. Right, so we've got our grouped characters here, and I've got my sample list grouped by each character. So what I'm going to have to do next is I'm going to simply iterate through each group and check the count. And if the count is greater than the max count, which is 0, I'm then going to replace the max count with the count of that character. So every time a new character comes along and it has a greater count, that's going to be the next highest counted character. And I can also replace the max character with that character name as well, or character. So now we've got our grouped characters, which is basically our list of individual characters grouped by the type of character. So all the A's are grouped together. So I'm going to have a count of 2. That's what I expect. All of the B's should have a count of 2. The C should have a count of 3, and so on. So I'm going to iterate through these grouped characters. So for each var group in grouped characters, all I want to do is first check if the count is greater than the max count. So if group.count is greater than max count. That's good. Then all I'm going to be doing is setting the max count now equal to the group's count, that current group, which could be the A, a B, or a C. And then just to add to it, I then want to make sure the max character is also assigned. Now, the place where the character is going to be stored is because we're counting the number of characters. The character is going to be the key of this group. And so if you guys don't know about key value pairs, have a look at hash maps, how those work. This is similar. So the I grouping has a key, which is whatever the group is. So if I grouped by A's, then the A is a key. If I group by, say, numbers, like the number 2, how many 2's there might be, then the 2 is a key. So in this case, the character is the key. So I can just set the max character to whatever the key is of this group. And that should be good. So all we need to do is this last bit, which is log it to the console to check. So I'm just going to do CW tab, which is like a shortcut. And I'm just going to create a string to log my results. So what I'm doing is I've put a $sign at the front of my string. This just allows me to input variables into that string. It's called string interpolation. All languages have their own version of string interpolation. Now I'm gonna just log this to the console and hopefully this works first time around. Okay, and there you go guys. So what we have here is we've got max count is 6 and we also have character G, and if we have a look at what we had originally, we can see that that is true. So over here we can see that G occurs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, which is more than all the other characters. So you can see that at the end, it's actually not that much code. Again, if we use the hash map method, then we would have more lines of code. But again, sometimes simple solutions are the better solutions. So again, thanks so much for watching, guys. And again, this is day 3 of Algorithmas. So this was the finding the most common character in a string algorithm. And again, like I said, this is usually constitutes part of maybe a larger question, or there'll be some kind of variation of it. So got 27 more days to go, so do let me know what you think, guys, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. See ya.